Good morning, Juventini. Welcome to the All Juve Cast channel, where it's all Juve all the time. We got a packed house in here with Mr. Cappuccino, Omar, and there's going to be another joining us shortly, just trying to make some corrections to his internet connection. And there he is, Francisco himself, back after way too long. We're happy to have him back. So let's see who we got. The usual suspects in here on match day. Bob, good morning, Bob. Okay, Forza Juve, absolutely. Mohammed in here. Good morning, guys. Today's match is going to be very tough, especially looking at the formation and the midfield. We are going to get to all that. Okay, Mr. Lucci, nothing but a win is acceptable. Let's get it. Love it. Love it. Anthony, good morning. Good morning. All right. And KM, of course, joining us. Guys, we're going to kick it off, going around the panel, talking about some of the news surrounding Juve in the past week. A lot of it is in relation to the upcoming winter mercado. Okay. Scamacchia and Martial seem to be the names with the most heat around them. Okay. And it's interesting too because All or Nothing just came out not too long ago. Okay. And then yesterday, our friends at the Italian Football Podcast, they sent me a little video and a little clip it from one of their shows. And Giuseppe Rossi was on there talking about potential move back in 2011-12 to Juventus and how it fell through. Okay. So it was interesting to see. And it just goes to show you where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Okay. And we're finding out more and more by the day and seeing more behind the scenes. But it was interesting hearing Giuseppe Rossi talk about just how close he was to joining Juventus. So now I ask you guys, Scamacchia and Martial. Number one, even Cavani is out there and apparently himself is available. Out of those three guys, which route would you go personally? And we're going to kick this one off with my man Joe.
Oof. Which route would I personally go? I've always been an enormous Cavani fan. But the reality is that he's been on the record saying he will not join another Italian team other than going back to Napoli. He has said that. I firmly believe him. He's still a very talented player for how old he is, but if we just wanted a stopgap solution, that would be one of them. But I think Scamacca has a lot of talent there. I think that we should personally go for him.
Your pick is Scamacchia.
My pick is Scamacca. So something about him just and you know what? I think that we even said it in the group chat. I think that people are like, oh, he's a basket case, he's like something's up there. But maybe we need that. I think it was Lucci who mentioned that. Maybe we need somebody to like go in there and shake things up a bit.
Yeah.
It couldn't hurt, right?
You betcha. Omar, let's get your thoughts on out of those guys, who would you handpick as your choice? Martial, Cavani, Scamacchia.
I agree with Joe on Cavani because the man has turned us down so many times. I just can't believe these reports anymore. Martial has been frozen for I don't know how long. I don't like buying players who haven't played because their club put them aside. And so Scamacca is the only option left. The only thing that moved me away from him is the fee and the form of the deal. Because back in the summer, they wanted like 40 million or something. Or 25, I don't remember, but it's still a lot of money that we need. And if he's a short-term solution, then I wouldn't go for that amount of money and go with Martial. But if there's some sort of formula of loan until the end of the season or something, then definitely Scamacca. And Tevez was a bit screwed in the head and it worked out well for us. You need a player like that, so that's not an issue there.
Yeah. Francisco, it's Cavani, Scamacchia, or Martial. Who would you handpick?
Man, I know he turned down a lot, but I have to say Cavani, man. I've always said he's the guy. If he didn't left for PSG and he went to another team in another league, he would have been probably the best number 9 of the last 7 years, because the guy he's still very good, and he was clinical, he was tough, and he played hard, which
Yeah.
is very surprising for a number 9. He didn't gave up, which is something that I really like. So for me, I know Schemaga is you can say the sexy choice because obviously he's the young guy. But at the end of the day, I think Juventus is going for Vlahovic in the future. So I wouldn't mind having Cavani for a short term for me.
Yeah. There you go. I think, yeah, agreed. If we're hand picking, I'd probably go that route because we have to think about what we're doing, right? And another reason is, these everybody's asking. It really depends. Mohammed says it depends. Are we buying them or are we loaning them, right? This is what we're looking at. We're looking at stopgap solutions, right? So I think Scamacchia, like I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it doesn't ultimately get you where you need to be towards starting off the next season. You would still need that number one, and Scamacchia is going to cost you, 25 to 30 apparently for Sassuolo to even consider. So one of those other guys kind of fits the bill in terms of how we get them over, right? But Cavani would be a perfect stopgap solution. Even if you have to take it a little bit beyond to like 18 months or something, that's fine. That's fine on a stopgap, right? Icardi is another name. Continues to I love throwing him in here because we know how Lou feels about it, and we know Lou's listening to the show, and he just dies a little bit inside every time he hears Icardi and the possibility to Juventus. So we just got to throw that in there for our boy Lou. Okay.
Don't
And
throw it
I
in
see
there,
some
Mike.
viewers are joining us as opposed to our good friend Beppe. And we've got a question here. How come just Juve and all Juve casts are live at the same time? Number one, Beppe, get off our time slot, bro. We own the 5:30 in the morning my time. I've already shoveled once outside here. Welcome to Canada, and I'm ready to go. But we own the 5:30's time slot. Come on, man. No, we love Beppe. He's good stuff, and there is no affiliation there, folks. So we kind of do things how we want and when we want. So it's all good. You guys, one of the things I got to say is, when I was growing up and following Juventus and all this, I wished I had as much content as there is right now. You
Right?
guys have a plethora of fantastic content from a lot of different creators, and we all have our own styles, right? So yeah, you can watch one live and you can go and watch the next one recorded, but take advantage of it because there's a lot of people doing a lot of great, great work.
And support it.
Yeah.
Support it. Always
The biggest
support it.
thing is support, right? Now, this little bit of news on these transfer things and Cavani, and we heard Francisco talk about Cavani and just his thoughts on him as a player. Our chat this week in the group chat got a little picked up quite a bit of steam when we had a question brought to us by Antonio, of course, and that's top 10 players who you wished played for Juventus. We're not going to go into 10 because it could take us quite a bit, but let's just go around the panel and give me a few names that automatically pop to your head when you think of guys you always wished played for your team. For me, I'm just going to throw a first name out there that I always, always wished, and that was Batistuta. Okay, Batigol was my guy. I always wished he played for Juventus. Absolutely loved him. I'll give a couple more as we go around, but let's go with one from Francisco, and then we'll work our way this way around the panel. So, Francisco, a guy or a couple names you always, always wish played for Juve.
Well, I'll give you three. I'll give you Puyol, uh, Maldini, and also Gattuso. Those three. Those two,
Nice.
I mean, are the
Nice.
ones.
Yeah. Joe.
I mean, Batistuta was the one that I was going to say because I absolutely loved Batistuta. He was like
All of
my
us.
favorite. He was like my favorite number 9 growing up. Since you took him, this one might surprise some people, but I love Uruguayan footballers like in general. Diego Forlan when he was at Atletico Madrid, like if we could get that guy, yo,
Francisco's face.
Daniele De
Forlan,
Rossi.
okay, Forlan. Let's give Joe
Daniele De
Forlan.
Rossi is another great shout, Luch.
De Rossi's a good shout. Mohammed's got a few here with Ronaldo, Eto, Robin, and Lampard. Omar, let's get some names from you.
First of all, it's not nice what you did. Choosing first, we all wanted to say Batistuta.
My guy, man, my guy.
Okay, I'll give you like 2 from the past and 2 more recent players. Always loved Hernan Crespo. I think it was a fantastic striker.
It's a good one.
I liked Seydorf and Bergkamp a lot. I always wanted them to play for Juve. And more recent would be Iniesta and Tony Cruz, probably. Oh, David Villa. David Villa
Tony
was,
Cruz, yo. That's a good
I
one.
wanted David Villa to come to Juve so bad from Valencia.
Anthony's throwing out the 3 Flying Dutchmen from Milan in the early 90s.
We're not old like you, Anthony.
Hey, guys, I'll give you a name and you tell me if it's not. Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho?
How can you say no?
No.
How can you say no?
That was, for me, that was the 4th one.
Big Bandeezy throwing out Ribery and Balotelli. There was probably a period of time where Balotelli would be in that, and then quickly became out of it and whatnot. Another name I'll throw out there for me was always Cafu. Cafu was an absolute beast, and I would have loved to have him as part of Juve. He's one of the names kind of always goes to me. Zola for me, I don't know, man. Love Zola. Van Nistelrooy, man. For some reason, I was a big Van Nistelrooy fan.
I gotta tell you, I watched the game once that Van Nistelrooy scored 4 goals and he was the worst player on the pitch. and that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah,
fantastic striker, but nothing else.
That guy he'd score though. He'd score all the time. He'd find a way. He could be on one of those brutal matches and get it. But yeah, Ronaldo, the Brazilian R9, of course, would be in the mix there. There's a ton. Maldini, it's hard not to say Maldini. Nesta, I always loved Alessandro Nesta. We had a lot of fun with this one, and it was interesting seeing some of the guys on the live too. And De Rossi is a great shout.
Kaká.
Sorry, Kaká.
Kaká, prime Kaká.
Oh yeah. I still remember that goal in Champions League where he just splits 2 D-men with a header.
Yeah.
Just cruises in and fit. That guy made such difficult scenarios look so easy. It was wild. Philip Lahm.
That's one that I thought about.
Lahm. Lahm's great.
Yeah. Lahm was fantastic.
Very underrated.
Good stuff. We had a lot of great shouts there, and it was just a fun topic. And we like to bring our group chat over into the show at times here, so you guys can get a little bit more of a look back there. Aaron Ramsey. Oh, Luca, you joined us just in time, man. One of the boys you rep. So I'm going to keep this really short and simple because fans are split on how they would treat Ramsey. So we're not going to talk about what's going on because everybody knows exactly what's going on. But the asshole in me wants us just to freeze Ramsey, okay? Just freeze him out. Let him we're not going to give you what you want, which is a move out and whatnot. Like, just let him linger. Send him even, to the lower rank. Do whatever. Just let him suffer. Don't give him what he wants, which is finding another team and paying this severance. The logical side of me says cut your ties, open up a roster spot, find somebody that's going to, get you some depth and be an option. Where do you guys stand on Ramsey? Okay. Should we freeze him out? Because a lot of Juventinians say we need to get tough again and just say, hey, no, put an end to this nonsense and freeze guys out. I understand that. And like I said, the prick in me really wants to do that, but we have to open up a spot and let him go. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Here.
We right now we're trying to rebuild a team, so we need to be logical about things. Probably, if we were a very strong team, I would probably say freeze the guy out. Like, I don't care, but right now we need that spot.
Yeah.
And you look at the lineup of today's game, and you see the midfield, you know where we need that spot. So just bite the bullet and try to get the guy out and get somebody who's going to actually help you, because he's not going to.
Yeah, I hear you. Joe, same thing. We need the spot, right? Joe and Omar?
But here's the thing. I'm on your side, Berto. I want to be the jerk, okay? I think we should be playing hardball here. Like, look, it's a two-way road here, okay? Both are trying to find an adequate solution here. Trying to buy him out, so what is it, $7 million for the rest of his contract, right? For his salary. That's a lot of money. That's more than what most players in the league get paid. That is a lot of money. It's also on the player to try and find a solution for himself, not just the club. So he's got to be willing to, wheel and deal a little bit here. It can't just all be, the onus just can't be on the club itself. The club obviously needs to do what's best for itself. So, like, there's got to be a better solution than to just pay him all that money.
Of course.
The $7 million
agreement
severance is really, really a kicker. I mean, just walk away, man. Walk away. Like half,
right?
of it, even half of it. Like now we're loaning you out just to get rid of, because it's not even a purchase, because nobody wants to buy you, Ramsey. That's the thing. If there was a team ready to pay now and purchase him outright, I would feel a lot better about the severance. The fact that nobody, not a single club, is coming in saying we want to purchase him should tell Ramsey, stop being an asshole and just settle for something less than a full annual salary to do it. Omar's been very, very calm, very patient there. Look, I love for him to weigh in on this one and just be direct about it. Omar.
Well, first of all, let's not fool anyone. Ramsey is not injured. He's not injured for a long time. I think Juve don't play him because they want to sell him, and if they're risking an injury, then no one would buy him. Exactly. I say give a Rivabene a free flight around Europe ticket, and in January, just try to sell him wherever you can. Find a club around Europe that's willing to just take him, not buy him, and take his salary with him. If that doesn't work by the end of January, then terminate, and that's it. Take the loss, bite the bullet, and that's it. Freeze. If we freeze him up, that's still $7 million in salary, which is a lot of money, and it can drag it all the way to next season until his contract runs up.
Yeah, and the negativity is also, man, we don't need that. We really don't need that kind of thing right now. I'd rather have that the guy just go, even if we need to pay. Obviously, I don't want Juventus to pay the $7 million, but even if we have to pay the $7 million, I'd rather have the guy go to another team and just bring like a young guy who wants to prove himself, who has positivity, who's going to be good for the locker room, who's going to give his all, and who's going to be at the disposal of the manager, than having that guy who's good. Yeah, maybe we can get tough and say, oh, we're Juventus, you're not going everywhere, but frankly, we don't want him. So there's no upside.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
If Maji were in charge, this wouldn't be happening. That's all I'm saying.
And just so Haneen understands too, because if we find a team to loan him out, I'm fine with it. We save the salary and don't pay severance. That is not the case, Haneen, just so you're aware. The latest of the reports are stating He's loaned out, but he still wants the severance pay for the fact that they're breaking the contract sooner to have him move. So yeah, you got to figure that out. And I'm going to call Luca out here because he says everyone's calling Aaron the asshole. Yes, when it's Paratici in this, mad at the wrong person. No, like it's one thing he came here. You got to remember, Aaron was doing the right thing and Aaron was trying to break in. Number one, I just don't think the Italian game is for Aaron Ramsey. That's first and foremost. But now, in this moment in time, we are absolutely right at to be mad at the right person, and that's Aaron Ramsey. I mean, he's in control of this situation. The fact that we can't even use him because he's so fragile, and then anytime an international break sparks up, he goes and plays and does his thing. And now we're trying to find a solution that works for our team, and he's freezing us out because of his money. I mean, yeah, no, we're right. We're right to be wrong, upset at him.
Yeah,
it's 100% the right person. Let's get that straight, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll move on because I get frustrated and tell Luca all the time he needs to rep better individuals. Okay, let's pick some better role models.
Don't waste your time, bro. Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. Rovella Hive. The Rovella Hive coming alive.
Let's do it.
Let's just get it over with.
Easy.
Oh, come on.
Easy.
And that. I cannot.
The opportunity presents itself where Juventus can make a type of transaction with Genoa that Genoa agrees to in order to pull Rovella back in January, do you make that move or do you continue to let him finish this season with Genoa? Omar, let's let you get it over with, and then
okay. I'll be happy to. Look, he looks like a great player, okay, and I like him, but I still look at it like he plays for Genoa. They're in relegation zone. It's easier to be a top midfielder when you come from Juve and you play for a relegation side, and it's not always working out best for these type of players. Tonali was fantastic for who it was, Empoli, Brescia, I don't remember, and they got relegated. So let's not give them too much credit before we've seen him play against top sides, and because Genoa are basically shit right now. But we do own him. We don't have to pay anything, and he looks like a player that can evolve significantly over the close, 3 to 4 years to reach his peak. I'm just saying, if you can bring him back, and we do need him because Rabiot wouldn't play for Genoa, so Rovella is above him. But if we can get him and he can crack the exile, then great. If he's going to come to Juve and sit on the bench and be a replacement for Bentancur and Rabiot, then hell no, let him keep playing for Genoa. We still own him. But if Max wants him and wants to use him, great, fantastic, bring him back. Because we seriously need them.
We've got a situation where apparently Locatelli has had the shits for 3 days and probably not playing today. Okay, so gastroenteritis, potentially not playing today, and we don't have a guy that can bring you as much as Rovella in that type of role because Artur, everybody talks about it the same. Where's the passing? Where's the forward advancing? Where's this? Where's that? Can McKennie do it? No. Can Bentancur do it? Nope. Can Rabiot do it? Nope.
No, obviously.
So if we have nobody else, If we have nobody else other than Luca who can do that, and you already own a player who's doing this, I don't understand why we wouldn't save a bit of money and just bring in a body that can help. And I get it. A big thing, and Lucci touched on it, is Max Allegri and giving him the minutes. But that's a whole nother topic because, if I look at this guy and how this guy's playing and where he fits in that particular team and what we're trying to do at ours, I don't see a scenario where you can't give him enough minutes. I really, really don't. But let's get Joe and Francisco to weigh in on this one with Rovella.
You want me? I'll go.
Right.
So I feel like I don't know who is the president of the Rovella Hive, but I feel like I'm definitely up there. I want the kid. I want the kid. I want the kid back. You got to bring him home. He strolls into this midfield. He headbutts Rabiot on his way in, and like we desperately need somebody with his talents. I think Omar makes a very, very good point, though. I think it is all up to Max to, one, give him the playing time. We've seen his track record with some of the youngsters. It's not exactly great. And right now he's injured. I think that it's just a short injury, so we got to see how that sort of plays out as well. But I say bring him. Like, it's an option for us. We will probably save a couple of pennies on the way, and I think that it could be incredibly beneficial, not just for Juve but for the player too.
Yeah, and here's another thing too. It's the
I'm just saying, don't be bummed if he's not Vidal immediately by February.
No, that's
he's
a whole
19 years
different
old.
thing.
Like,
But
we got to
again,
give him a break.
Yeah, the main
But
thing
that's
is
what
we're
people
asking other
expected of him.
mids to
People
do
expected
something that
Pellegrini
they simply can't
to
do,
be
right?
Maldini.
I think that we need to go in with certain expectations. Okay, I mean, he's having a great season. If he can continue, even if he can continue, just marginally improving at Juve, doing exactly what he did at Genoa,
But
I'll be
here's the
fine with
thing.
that.
Here's the thing, guys. We're probably going to move. We're trying to move guys out. You have to pull guys in. Why not save the money? It just makes sense on
It makes sense.
so many different levels. Cheap salary. You already own them. The deal would be minimalistic, in what you need to do to bring them back. Like, it's not going to be anything crazy to break a contract 6 months earlier. And again, he gives you traits in a role that none of these other guys can do outside of Locatelli. We just talked about Locatelli's importance. Like, the second he cannot play a match, it's brutal for us, if we're being honest. And yeah, if we're looking at moving multiple guys, is what it is. And KM saying, Locatelli has to play. Come on, it's an important match. Yeah, no, we understand that. But the fact is that right now it's rumored he may not, because he's had gastroenteritis for like 3 days or whatever. So, Francisco, Rovella.
Well, first of all, I have to say, guys, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I understand that you want it, but it's not going to happen. The guy is going to say in Genoa, because frankly, I don't think, if I'm Shevchenko, I'm not letting that my best midfielder goes away, especially with the way my team is playing. With that said, would I want Rovella to come back to Juventus? Of course. Of course. When you see the lineup today, you start thinking about, why do we have this lineup? I said in the chat yesterday, when I saw the probable lineup that Di Marzio said that would probably play, I said, this is the worst midfield of the last 7 years. Wrong. This is the worst midfield I have seen Juventus ever use, taking into consideration that I'm just a fan of Juventus since 2009. But this is probably the worst.
And you're a Christian Paulson fan.
Exactly. But come on now. We know it's not going to happen. The guy's going to stay there. When he finishes with Genoa, would I want him to stay in Juventus? Of course, because the guy has talent. He's a very talented player. He has something that we don't have other than Locatelli, which is passing range. And Joe said something. He comes to our midfield and headsbutts Rabiot out. Probably any midfielder comes to Juventus midfield and headsbutts Rabiot out. Like, it's not this. That's not something.
Ramsey can't do it.
Ramsey doesn't play. I'm talking about a player.
I'm just saying, not any midfielder. Ramsey can't do it.
Ramsey's not a midfielder. Ramsey is a fan who won a contest so he could play.
Ramsey is barely a breathing body.
Come on, now.
Water
Come
boy.
on.
I was gonna say
Yes.
that. Ramsey's
Come
a
on
traffic cone right now.
Ramsey.
No, he's used in
Ramsey,
training.
What is a Ramsey?
Don't be-
What is a
Okay.
Ramsey?
Don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either way, to be honest, if the Rovella thing happens. Obviously, from Genoa's standpoint, they can't afford to have this guy move. So another player would have to be, part of this, a youngster from Juve. But the other thing is, you're not going to get a youngster that makes that type of impact for that team. Rovella, like Genoa's going to fight, they're in a relegation battle. They cannot afford to lose Rovella. So it's going to be very, very difficult. We were just going around the panel to see where everybody stands if that possibility opens up for Juventus. And for me, if the possibility would arise, I think it's a no-brainer, to be honest, because you're automatically 100% going to lose Aaron Ramsey. And even if you don't lose Aaron Ramsey is just non-existent to this team. So from a depth standpoint, if that option was there, I like it in terms of what it would do for Juventus and what it do for Rovella.
But can I
There's
ask
a
you?
lot of
But can I
talk.
ask you a different question about it? Because
Go ahead.
you said we need to be lethal with Ramsey and just cut the shit and tell him how it's going. What Moji would have done. We could do the same.
No, I
with
said
Rovella.
the asshole in me would want to do that, but I fully understand logistically. We need to get him away and open up the spot and bring somebody that actually helps the team and have some depth.
Yes, so we can have the same attitude towards Rovella and Genoa. Tell them, we don't care what you need or want. It's our player. We want him back. On the other hand, you can say we do a lot of business with Genoa. We loaned a lot of players to them and sold to them, and
You have
we
to
want
be
to keep the
careful with
relationship
business
going.
relationship, sure.
Yeah, but
So how would you go about that? What would you do?
Well, no, that's why I was just saying it would have to be something that works for Genoa because they're in a relegation battle and they're not going to want to lose Rovella. So you'd have to spice it up quite well. And how you do that, I have no idea because I haven't talked to Genoa or figure out what the heck they would want or what they would accept. But we know that those are the circumstances, and it would be very, very tough to make that move.
Right.
You cannot just do it. You cannot just do it, especially when you already loaned the player. You cannot just say to the team, "Oh, by the way, the player that we told you could have for the whole year, and we signed that contract." No, you cannot have
exactly.
Now.
And it's a contract.
I agree.
We have to figure out how to get them to accept to break that. It's not like we just call the shots and walk in there and say, "Yeah, we'll take them back." You have to find something that's suitable to them. All the question was if the possibility arose, would you take Rovella back? That's it. Relax. I'm not saying go in there guns blazing and pick this kid up, put him on your shoulder.
No, I'm just asking.
I've never
you
seen such a polarizing
We've
player.
got a lot of talk in the live chat about Fagioli, who's absolutely crushing it in Serie B.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going to say no to bringing Fagioli back still if the opportunity arose, because I haven't seen him play consistent minutes in Serie A, and I don't know how that translates. And looking at our team and where we are now, Francisco painted a beautiful picture of our midfield. Not a beautiful picture, but he painted a picture of our midfield where it stands right now. I don't think you can afford to really do that. I think, the next step for Fagioli is playing somewhere in Serie A. Doing it. If we were a little more established in the midfield and could bring him in and he'd be consistently getting minutes, I don't really know. I feel a little bit different about Fagioli than I do Rovella because Rovella's had the Serie A minutes and made impacts there. Serie B, it's great to see Fagioli doing well there, but I've always said that, and even last season, Fagioli had a couple showings with Juve, but I said I would send him out and bring Rovella in because Rovella was doing good even last season. This year, Rovella's doing, lights out with Genoa. Do you guys feel the same? Fagioli next step should be Serie A somewhere quickly and then gauge it from there?
Yeah, I probably would like to loan him to a team that could develop him. Like in the sense of Rovella. Rovella turned out to be on a good place, but it was by luck. And if I'm Juventus right now, I would not send a player to develop him to Genoa. I probably try to send him to Sassuolo. Right now, to a team like Verona, teams that maybe can use them and, and make them better with good coaches. In the sense of Fajoli, I would probably try to use a team like that can develop them. Even like we can say maybe a Venezia if they stay in Serie A, or that kind of team which can booster his offensive play. Because the reality is you can ruin a player if you send him to the wrong team. You send him to like a team that doesn't work for them, you can really screw things up. So, in the sense of Faioli, I would try to send him to my best guess. I would try to send him to Sassuolo to see how he does in there. But I don't think it's gonna happen. To Sassuolo, no. But yeah, we should try to loan him to a Serie A team.
Yeah, you guys agree? Loan him out. Serie A next step for Fagioli, but not necessarily with Juventus right off the bat.
Depending on the transfer market, but I would like to see him in either Sassuolo or Fiorentina, actually, because of Italiano. Italiano is just great with youngsters, and he's like a bit of a old school coach in his methods and in training. So I would like to see him there, but yeah, another Serie A club. I don't think he's fully ready yet to play for Juve rotationally.
Joe, deep in thought over here.
It's tough because I mean I watch Fagioli play, and the kid has that spark. He's talented, incredibly talented, only 20 years old. And honestly, I think we even talked about it in the group chat at one point. Lou is a big proponent of trying to keep young talent on teams and try and like build something towards that, like where we actually have, those young players on the team, like on Juve, and using them consistently. And he used AC Milan as an example, using a lot of their youth players and trying to build something with that. And I think that there's really something there. I think that Juve should be trying to do more of that. And we're not going to get there if we keep loaning players out to other Serie A teams, which has been what Juve has done for as long as I can remember, like the last 25 years, seriously. And it's worked. It has worked out. I feel like we've sold a lot more players than we have kept. And those players that we have in fact sold, usually they haven't, been stellar. So it's been like whatever. But in this instance, I don't see a way for him to get into the team right away. I think that both Francisco and Omar made good points saying that maybe a Serie A team aside from Juve would be best. I really don't like it because you want to ingrain, you want them to feel like they are part of Juve from a very young age. You really do, because I think that really helps them see a bigger picture with the club. That's just my 2 cents.
I kind of agree with a good part of what you're saying, but I also think it's like different to the circumstances and to the individual and the players that are involved, right? I think when you can see what Fagioli's doing in Serie B, I think the next step logically is a Serie A team to see him for a season. And I don't think that necessarily separates him in any way of not feeling a part of Juventus. I think it would if, say, he goes out to a team for a season and then you loan him again immediately after that, and then you loan him, again completely after that. But I think if you're completely transparent in how it's handled, makes a lot of sense. We also have to think about the fact that if we can inject Rovella next season, then that's also, a sign of that change and that willingness and that there is opportunity there. And Fagioli, yeah, like for me, I like to see it with Serie A. Are we at a point where we're comfortable enough to risk it with our club? Because I think it's more detrimental if we pull him in and then we all have these expectations. He doesn't hit it. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, let's see him get consistent minutes somewhere in the top league and then go from there, right? The same we did with Rovella. And I think it's fine, but I think you have to make your call much quicker. That's the one criticism I've had with the younger guys and Juventus is make your decision quicker. Why are we, like for years we were seeing guys on multiple loans. If there's no hope there, cut the ties. Like that's it. There's no need
Exactly.
to guy like just your property, but there's no way to integrate them into the team. And there was guys that arguably could have been integrated in them, but a lot of the fans have this belief that no, it's not Juve caliber. It's not, this guy's not Juve standard or whatnot. Like it's very, very hard to separate this because we live in a world where everybody wants everything now. They want information now. They want, food, fast food industry. They want food now. They want, everything has to be now. These players, they have to be ready now. It does, like, that's just not the reality of things. This is not picking up FIFA, loading up your roster, and you're fine, you're good to go. You have to make some of these moves. And if you look at the teams that have sustained through COVID, the pandemic, and all this stuff, it's teams that have had that willingness and have had that structure to integrate these younger guys. So I think there's some work to be done there. We keep hearing that Juventus is doing it and they're going to, but again, they have to back it up with the actions. Allegri, this is his biggest question mark too, which will be interesting to see how he uses these young guys and develops these young guys. And we always said some of these mercados would kind of show us where the team stands. When you start hearing names like Axel Witsel, I start to question the project and what we're trying to do. That's just me. But again, Francisco.
I just wanted to say, because everybody keeps bringing up the Milan comparison, but we need to take something into consideration. It's easier for Milan to do this kind of process because Milan is not being asked to win the Scudetto every season. If Milan doesn't win the Scudetto this year, there's no problem. Yeah. The project keeps going on. The same with Atalanta. The same with other teams other than right now, maybe other than Inter, because Inter also demands them probably because they won it last year. But if Juventus doesn't win the Scudetto, it's problem. There's trouble. So that's the thing. We cannot just bring all the young players and let's try them and see who's good and who's not. Because if we don't get the results, the guys at the top get burned. That's what they don't want. So when we make this kind of comparisons, we need to remember that it's easier for the teams that are not demanded to win to make these radical changes. The reality is that we need to be structured, but we need to do it in a way which allow us to keep being competitive, but at the same time being cool and collective enough to win games and have the maturity to win games and win titles. And that won't happen if we just keep bringing all young people on board, because we do need some experience. And that's the problem that we have. That's the situation in which we are right now. Yeah. And we have Ramsey and in Rugani on our team. That's also a problem.
Yeah, there you go. Omar wants to touch in on this.
Yeah, first of all, I think there should be a law against loaning players. Like give them like a max of 2-season loan, and after 2 years, you have to decide either you sell him or you keep him, because it's ruining players. There are a lot of players just from club to club. We're not the biggest criminals in that area. Chelsea have been doing that for a long time, but if those players play, then you jack their prices up. Look at what Chelsea did with all the youngsters they had to play. Some of them were up to the Chelsea level and they kept them. The other just sold for a lot of money. Tammy Abraham was just a regular striker. They sold him for 40 million, and we can't get rid of players for 7 million. So you have to take that into consideration. Just 2, 3, 4 appearances for Juve is jacks their prices up nicely. And you can take the look at Marchisio. Marchisio had the perfect route, alone at Empoli for 1 season, played with Juve a bit before in Serie B, came back, some tough years, and then he got into his groove and started playing, at the Juve level. and we have to just be patient with these guys. If Fagioli is not good after one season, the solution is not to sell him. Tonali was shit for Milan last season. Now he's one of their best players this season so far.
Yeah.
So just keep the patience and let these guys develop and mature, because they're people eventually. It's not
Yeah.
FIFA, like you said.
I want to touch on Haneen's point here. We need to send players on a loan to a higher league earlier. Rovella was playing Serie A when he was 18, while guys like Fagioli stayed in the third division until he was 20. So I think this kind of highlights something else, though. I don't think it should be all players painted with the same brush. You have to respect the individual that's involved and what level that particular player is at. Having said that, I do agree Fagioli probably stayed a lot longer than he should have. And this just, to me, highlights a separate issue. It separates the attention paid to that part of the development and those players involved in that group, because that does highlight a bit of an issue there. Number one, I don't think you do it with just all the same brush. Okay, you're this age, like you go here, you're this age, you go here. I don't think that's the case. But in respects to the kid's talent and what we've seen in glimpses, whatnot, that's probably excessive. And I would agree that they should have had eyes on that and probably acted accordingly a little bit sooner. But you have to and I say the same thing with our training methods. And Juventus has a lot of discussions about our team and a lot of concerns about the fitness and the constant injuries. I say the same thing. You can't paint your entire team with the same brush, and certain players need to be conditioned a little bit differently than others. And I think sometimes, just saying, hey, this is our procedure, this is our process, whatnot, might be hurting us. And we've been seeing it for years with our team and injuries. And I've been asking that question. And I think there's some work to be done on all levels. But that Fagioli thing kind of highlights, I think, the amount of attention Juventus has historically kind of paid to that. And it's a sign of the work that needs to be done. Joe, real quick before we jump into some trivia here.
Yeah. I think I will say this. I think that Juve is moving in the right direction with that installation of the U23 team in City B. I think that's huge. We got to remember that we have that, and that takes a lot of development from the club. It's like running another separate club in another division. So we got to keep that in mind too. We have that. That gives players a lot of exposure. So I think that we'll reap the rewards from that soon enough.
Yeah. Now, trivia time, boys. Trivia time.
You study, Omar? You study?
He always does.
I have no idea what it's about.
Else.
No, I said it's different. I have no idea what it's about.
No. Bologna versus Juventus. I just got to throw you out a bit. So, the history of the fixture. How many games do you have to go back for Juve's last loss in this fixture? How many games? How many games ago did Juventus drop one to Bologna?
I'll say 8.
8?
I sort of know that. Like I don't remember the winning against them in the last 10 years, in the last decade. I don't even remember in the decade before that, because they were in Serie B and then they were in Serie B, so it has to be somewhere in the 90s. But 90s? I have no idea when.
Okay. How many games are you saying?
I'll go like 26, maybe.
Okay,
I'll go 35.
You're saying 26, Joe?
35, yo?
35.
35. 21. 21 games you have.
You were close. You were close, Homer.
Yeah, I was close.
Told you he studied, man.
What ex-Juve player scored the brace that took Juventus down in that 2-0 loss 21 matches ago?
Ex-Juve player. We said it was...
Sturaro.
No, it was in the 90s, right? It was in the 90s.
No, it wasn't him.
Okay.
I wasn't a Juve fan in the 90s. So wow.
Yeah, Francisco's just going to be throwing darts here,
Can we
blindfolded.
take a guess? Was he well known or was he rubbish?
I wouldn't say it was rubbish, but he came in for a short period of time at Juventus.
Okay, was he at Bologna before Juve or after?
Oh man, I'm not going to pull up all
He
this
can't-
stuff.
no, he can't
Let's
do
throw
that.
some guesses out here. He came up in a trivia
We went to
2 match
Bologna.
days ago. Let's go that way.
There's no
Two
way.
match days ago.
There's no
Oh, damn.
way.
You know
There's
what,
no
Joe?
way.
You kind of look like him. Now that I'm staring at you.
I was going to say Baggio, but
No,
No,
it
No,
really
no,
Joe-
no,
it's
no,
actually freaking me
no,
out now.
no, Joe is missing the ponytail, so no Baggio there.
no.
Marco Di Vaio.
So
And it's
close.
No,
I
no,
had
no.
it.
Joe.
I-
Don't start,
I'm
Joe.
convinced this is
Yo,
Marco
don't
Di
start
Vaio.
going now like, oh, I knew it. I was gonna say, oh hell no,
I
you were
had
not. You were not going to say it. We would have been like 3 hours in this podcast, and you would not have been able to say it.
I would have said it. I would have said it eventually.
Last year, Juventus won both matches. Let's say it was an aggregate score line. What was the aggregates? The 2 scores combined.
Like 5-1,
5-1 from Francisco.
5-1.
I'll
What
go
play?
with 4-0.
4-0 between the 2 matches. Joe,
3-1.
No, we played good against them.
this one goes to Francisco. It was 6-1.
Ooh.
6-1.
Yeah, we were actually, that was one of the teams in which we played really good against.
Yeah. The first match was 2-0. Who were the goal scorers for Juventus?
Oh, I can't remember the match. I'll bet on Ronaldo, probably. No Ronaldo. Okay.
Wow.
Morata.
Dybala was
Morata.
injured.
Morata and
Morata.
Dybala? No,
No.
Dybala was injured. You're right.
Who the hell is
Chiesa.
going to score? There's nobody else to score.
Sparee nailed it. 6-1. Very nice. Very nice.
Did Chiesa score?
No.
No.
Well, we just ran through the.
There was a
entire
shot
attacking line.
deflected.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Arthur got the one. Who got
Worst
the
goal.
second?
Who was it?
Kulusevski.
Was it Ramsey?
Quadrado.
Ramsey.
He had a
laugh
goal
for
or
Luka
two.
Chiellini.
No.
I'm just guessing
Bonucci.
right now.
Yeah.
He had a
Yes.
pretty strong first half of the season.
McKennie.
McKenna.
Oh, McKennie. Yeah. Yeah.
Who scored the 4 goals in the second matchup?
Ronaldo.
No.
Yeah.
Got
He
by
scored 4
default. You got to
goals.
try that.
He scored 6
Yeah.
goals in 2 matches against Bologna. Ronaldo had 0.
Seriously.
Wow.
But the guy did he score four goals
No,
in the
no.
second match? No.
No. He scored how many? 2, probably.
2 and 2, maybe. Ronaldo
We
didn't
need
score,
the
bro.
4. Who was accounted for the 4 goals in the second matchup? We won 4-1. Who are the goal scorers?
The goal scorers, right? Okay. Morata has
Morata.
scored.
Morata.
Morata,
Chiesa scored 1.
No,
I
Chiesa
think.
did.
Chiesa.
Chiesa?
Yeah, was it the assist with the Ronaldo with the outside of the boot?
Oh, okay.
Morata
I
was
think-
actually a brace. So you've got
That's
3 goals
2.
accounted for with 2 players. Who
I'll
got that
go.
last one?
I'll go Bonucci.
No.
I'll go the Ligt.
No.
Oh, maybe. No. It's too early.
It was one of the
Kulusevski.
few. It was one of the few.
Rabio, Sandro.
Rabiot.
Rabia.
Oh, right. I remember.
right.
I remember
Oh,
that.
right. He was
I
playing
remember.
for
I
us.
remember being surprised. I was
right.
like,
184.
Okay. It was the last
184
game.
total matches between these 2 teams. How many goals total has Juventus scored in 184 matches against Bologna?
200.
184.
200. I'm just guessing right now.
200?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like we're scoring a lot against them. So how many you said? 124?
182 games played. 184, sorry.
184.
I'm going to 20.
That's 800.
I'm saying
220 from
Eight.
go.
No, I'm going with No.
400.
250 maybe? 250.
250 from Omar.
Joe is gonna go 251.
No.
No.
I'm gonna
That's
take
right.
the under at 210.
282 goals
Wow.
for Juventus in 184 matches against Bologna. Give me one top 5 goal scorer in this fixture. Just name me one of the guys.
Del Piero.
No.
No,
Trezeguet.
No.
Betega.
Really?
No.
Baggio.
Oh, I think okay.
What? Who
Boniperti.
scores? Who scores for us?
Boniperti.
No.
The
I'm
top
just
guys
throwing
don't
it.
play. The top
John
guys don't
Charles.
play against them.
John Charles.
John Charles is one.
Yes.
Do you guys want to keep going?
Ravanelli.
No.
Paolo Rossi.
No.
Vialli.
Vialli.
No.
I was gonna say Vialli.
Baggio.
No, really?
No.
No, I already said Baggio.
Nedved.
No.
Okay.
It's worth a shot.
Trezeguet.
Sivori.
I said Sivori. The second one I said was Sivori.
Damn.
No,
So
you
a
didn't.
lot. Oh, we're going back here then.
Don't be
No, I'm
changing
going
now,
to-
Omar.
Pippo
Don't-
Inzaghi is in there.
Oh, people
Wow.
say.
Okay.
And
They were founded
Anastasi,
in
John Charles.
1909.
And then there was actually Reguzzoni from Bologna getting in the top 5. You don't usually see some of the other clubs players get in the top 5 for all-time goals. So that was interesting. Okay,
Who's the
a lot
top
of fun
one?
there, boys. Let's get to the projected lineup. Okay,
Oh my God.
projected lineup.
So,
Szczesny in goal. Quadrado, Delict, Bonucci, Pellegrini across the back. Midfield of McKennie, Artur, Rabiot, Bernardeschi with Morata and Keane. Thoughts on this lineup? Right away, I will say this. This is our players. 4-3-1-2 is all I can really see working. That's really it. All I can see working. I saw some wild stuff, I think from Sky Sport, about a 4-2-3-1 that had Caio Jorge in as trequartista and all this. And I don't think we have the personnel available to us today to try and go with the 4-2-3-1. And Quadrado would be the obvious choice to slide up there. But the issue is that every time this season I've seen Quadrado slide forward, it has been brutal. Keep him at the right back position. I think in this one, it's 4-3-1-2 all day, in my opinion, with Bernardeschi playing behind the 2 forwards and kind of making a diamond in that midfield. What do you guys see? What do you guys think about the lineup? Let's start with Omar.
I see a 4-3-3 there. The lineup I saw was with Arthur. Just seeing Rabiot there makes me sad, basically. I would have rather see Bentancur. But it looks pretty balanced, actually, with McKennie, Arthur, and Rabiot there. And I see a 4-3-3. I think we're going to see Berna on the left and Keane and Morata switching places from the flank to the center.
Huh. Okay. Joe?
I agree with Omar. I see a 4-3-3. When I can see through my depression with this team. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just line up 4-4-2 and Allegri's like, this is going to be rough. It'll be a miracle if we score a goal, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Bologna, man. No, Francisco, what are you thinking?
well, I see a lot of desperation. I see sadness. I see struggle. I see me crying myself to sleep tonight, and I see Rabiot, which is worse than all of them combined. No, but for real, man, let's go 4-3-1-2. That's all we have, unless you wanna, and I don't think so. I was talking with Omar in the chat, and we were speaking about the youngster. I forgot his name. The one who plays from the right, Sule. If maybe Allegri was going to try him,
but no, Allegri, he's not going to try him. So, man, I just hope that Caio and Bernardeschi can link up, because what I've seen from Caio, I really like him, and Bernardeschi has played good for us this season. So I'm just praying right now,
I haven't.
praying.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyle's not set to start. That could change. But Bernardeschi, when I look at this lineup, the creativity is all on his shoulders in that lineup. Like it's solely on Bernardeschi in that particular lineup. So I cannot see him going out to the wing. And that is the one reason why I say this looks like a 4-3-1-2 to me. If you were going to slide him out to the wing, then I expect a very, very bad match to be played on the ice. Unfortunately, he'd have to be in that central role. When we think about Bologna, how they play, it's a 5-man wall at the back. Okay, they play a variation of the 3-5-2. It looks more like a 3-4-3, but those fullbacks, those wingbacks, very much engaged. But their first and foremost job is to form that 5-man wall at the back for Mihailovic. What do we do in that scenario? Makes even more sense to put Bernardeschi centrally. Our fullbacks need to get engaged to keep Bologna spread out at the back, because if we allow them to collapse, we're going to see what we have naturally for a long time with Juventus against teams that play this way, and that's very, very little creation and just throwing aimless crosses into the box. And you're going to have no target men in the box to be throwing crosses to. So they have to play centrally. So Bernardeschi will be a key for this one for me, for Juventus. Sule is a good shout, because Sule could be the player that allows you to kind of get into that 4-2-3-1 that we want to carry on with and move on with, because you could play Bernardeschi centrally, Sule on one side, and Keane has the capability to play on one of those other wings. And if people want to talk about the defensive side of things, I don't think we need to allow Bologna to dictate how we go about our business and be 100% scared of their attacking prowess, because they're going to be playing the counter game, the smash and grab game. We still have to be aware, but our back line, I'm comfortable. Delict and Bonucci there kind of shutting things down. Arnautovic, classic target man. Barrow is a little bit sketchy. So Barrow can be a little bit sketchy there. So it'll be interesting. They can stretch the field with Barrow and whatnot, and that's one of Bologna's escapes, playing at the back. We have to establish our press, which has been non-existent for almost this entire first half of the season. We have to establish the press. Bernardeschi will be key to creation, but I think it's going to be a grind any way you look at it, guys. I don't see, some of these predictions going out of multiple goals. I'm just going to throw Anthony under the bus here with his 3-1 prediction, and I would love to see it, Anthony. I'm not.
He thinks his team's going to score 3 goals.
Let's get to the predictions, boys. It's prediction time. What's the final score going to be? How are you all feeling? Francisco, throw it at me, buddy. What's your prediction?
1-0. 1-0.
1-0. Juventus. Mr. Cappuccino.
Like I said, it'll be a miracle. I'm calling what Francisco's saying. Classic Allegri 1-0 win.
Oh, no. But if we win, I am the one who gets the points because I said it first.
Sure.
Omar.
I don't know what to guess anymore.
5-0.
5-0 from me. Come on, this team can score.
Come on, Massimo. Come on. No draws today.
I don't know, 2-1. Hopefully an early goal so we can take the pressure off until Bologna score.
Until it's not a matter. It's a matter of when.
It's going to be Barrow scores.
Come on.
This is going to be
striker.
A classic match we are getting used to over the seasons, where it's frustrating, extremely frustrating. 2-1 Juventus will win in the dying minutes of this game.
Oh, I have no.
Because we're all going to be losing our minds. Twitter is going to be full of the tweets saying, get rid of every single player, manager, coach, Agnelli, everybody, burn the stadium down. It's over. This team's done. That's what Twitter's going to be like. And then a very unlikely candidate will score a game winner in this one for Juventus. It's going to be 2-1. And that's my call. Okay,
Cuadrado
and then it'll just kind of put a Band-Aid on all the overreactionary takes and all this stuff, and then I can relax, enjoy the rest of my weekend. Okay, 2-1, a very, very ugly 2-1 though. I'm going to call for Juventus. Goal scores. Now we're going to get into little fun tiebreakers. Who do you guys pick for your goal score? So Francisco had 1-0. Who's scoring the 1 goal for Juve? Joe, get your goal score ready too, because you're on 1-0. So let me hear your goal score as well.
Morata. It's got to.
Come on.
I don't know.
Come on.
I'll change it from Francisco. I'll give Ben a goal. I'll give Ben.
Don't go there. Don't go there. I went there once.
I'm gonna do it. The man needs one, and he looks like he's gonna do it.
The last time we all praised Berna, he went out and gave us a stinker, like the worst game ever. No.
All you had one job to do, Joe. You just had to pick Pinsolio. What's going on?
Come on.
You're right.
Joe,
You're right. The 1 goal scorer.
McKennie.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually.
That is a good one.
That is a good
McKennie and
Keane
will get one.
The Siglo will score.
No, the Silvio, I don't think he knows where the goal
Come
is.
on. Rugani.
He has 1 goal in Serie A for his entire career, I think. I know he has 1 with Juve, and that's it.
What about Ramsey?
So
is he not scoring today?
Ramsey is going to be shooting water bottles.
I'm gonna throw
into a trash can on the stands.
I'm gonna throw Moise Keane a goal. And the winner, the unsuspecting winner, will come from Bonucci on a mess of a set play that we just find a garbage winner and get out of here. Bonucci with the winner. Man of the match. Who will be the man of the match? Another tiebreaker question here. Who are you going to make a shout for Juve's best player in this match? Cuadrado from Francisco.
He's gonna give the assist. So
Omar, who's going to be your man of the match for Juventus in this one?
Chesney.
Tech from Omar. Joe.
Both good ones. I don't know if I can.
Oh God! Come on! You're gonna say both?
No. I'll give it to. I'm just gonna say Delict. Screw it. Why not?
That actually, I thought about saying a defender, so it's not that. It's a good choice.
Was gonna go with Delict, but this guy's gonna get the game winner, Bonucci. Bonucci's gonna be man of the match in this one.
If Bonucci drops a stinker on us, it's your fault.
Buddy,
I'm letting you know right now.
I've been there before. It's going to happen again.
No, nothing comes of it eventually.
Berna was on you, though.
Berna wasn't me. Yeah, I remember I said he's going to score a hat trick. This is going to be his day. That's the worst game I have ever seen Berna.
So the Venezia one, we're coming off the Venezia match, of course. The Venezia one was brutal. Yeah. We have to come out here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have to win this one. There's been continuing opportunities for us with these other teams dropping points and whatnot. We haven't been able to take advantage from our own doing. We need to stop worrying about, what's going on there. We need to get consistent. We need to figure things out. The 4-3-1-2, I kind of like that too, because it's a variation of the 4-3-3, and it gets us away from a 4-4-2. If we come out in this match and I see a 4-4-2, I'm going to lose my mind, because we're going to see one player out of position naturally again. In this one, it has the potential of being McKennie. I don't see Max doing that. And, you know, I know these guys watch the film. I know these guys know about their opponents and whatnot. And a 4-4-2 against Bologna is just going to be ridiculous. Get your fullbacks involved, play centrally, keep them spaced out at the back. Just move the ball quickly and get those forwards playing together. Bernardeschi in the hole, get your forwards close together, work some 1-2s. I don't see enough of that. I've always said you don't see enough off the training pitch with this Juventus, and we have players that can do it. Let's get going. This one has to be a win. Absolutely has to be a win. Must win today. Guys, enjoy the match. Everybody that joined us live, thanks for joining us. Let's see what happens. We better win. I'll tell you that. Or tomorrow might be even worse than the Venezia post-match where we got really, really fired up, okay? So post-match tomorrow, everybody, same time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, okay? Come join the crew. We're going to have a special guest as well for that one, making a debut. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody, again, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Like the video. Okay. Everybody, take the second. Like that video right now. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. All right. And of course, check out our sponsor, stripedheartsapparel.com. I got the beautiful Bianco Neri hoodie right now. Okay. The most comfiest piece I think I own amongst all my wardrobe. So show some love. They've got free shipping too on qualifying orders. Okay. Guys, closing thoughts before we sign off here. Francisco, you're raising the roof here.
We're gonna win. Damn it,
we're gonna win. We're gonna win.
I need a win. I need a win.
So
bring Rovella back.
Bring Rovella back.
Bring Rovella back.
Omar, closing thoughts.
Yeah, I saw the report today that Pogba will come to Juve and Rabiot and Sandro will go to United. So,
oh yeah, right.
how can I not be happy? And I trust Juve to win it for me.
Yeah.
But no, must win. We need to win it. We have to win it, and hopefully it will happen. Let's beat them 5-0. Make all of us wrong, and just give us a break. Give us time to enjoy Juve a bit.
My closing thought is just win, Juve. Okay?
Come on.
Just don't do this to me on a Saturday at the start of the weekend. Like, let's get the job done. Okay, let's get the job done. If they lose, fire everybody and hire me. I'm coming in to run the show. Okay, let's go. Enjoy the match, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning live for the post-match podcast. Ciao tutti. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Let's go.